Hi everyone! Today I'll be showing you how to use OpenNLP Lab's interactive image editing platform. So we can go here on the main page. And before I actually go over a tutorial, I'd like to share a little bit about what our platform does. Our platform is actually intended to transcreate an image from one culture to another. So like let's say we have an image that's culturally relevant for America, like pancakes. We can change components of that image to be culturally relevant for another place, like India, by changing the food or other background items. So we can see some examples here in the gallery. So this is one example that I was mentioning, the pancake being changed for Indian culture to match roti. So here the butter has been changed to ghee and the pancake has been changed to different rotis. So this makes it more relevant for an Indian culture. Um, Other things, here's another example with gulab jamun, which is typically associated with Indian culture. So you can kind of scroll through the gallery to get an idea of what our platform can do. But here, let me move on to the tutorial. So from our main page, you can first start by signing in with Google. So I'm already signed in, as you can see here. And then after you sign in, you can hit on the platform page. There's another tutorial here that you can go through in case you're confused or you need another refresher of what to do. But in a nutshell, basically all you need to do is upload a base image. This is the image that you want the platform to change. So here, I will be uploading a base image, just looking through, of a house. So once you upload it, you must hit this button to upload. And it's uploading here. All right, so now we have our base image successfully uploaded. On the right here, there's an optional tab to upload a reference image that you may or may not click on. I'll go over this later, but for the start, let's just start by uploading a base image. You don't need to upload a reference image for the platform to work. But sometimes if you want the platform to change a very specific part of the image or you don't want the entire image to be changed, uploading a reference image will allow you to only change certain parts of the platform to look exactly like a reference image would, but you don't need to do that. So first, then I'll type a prompt in here. I'll say, I change this house to be more culturally relevant and for a Japanese style, in a Japanese style. And our platform actually does best when you give it more examples. So for example, here you can give other features of Japanese architecture or different plants or animals that might be native to Japan. And then the platform will actually be able to incorporate those in the generation. So the more examples and the more details you give it, the better. But here we can just give it a simple prompt to just test. So I will then press translate. And here it will detect the intent of your text input and figure out which vision models to use. And then here you're greeted with this screen where you can change some of the preferences like generation quality and image influence. So for example, generation quality would determine whether you want it to be a quicker generation or a more high quality one. Here, you can mostly leave these untouched unless you want to play around with them. So I'll just increase this here. The rest of them should be fine. And then I will just simply hit on generate images. Great, so the images have all been generated, so let's take a look. So it's asking you here to select the best image. So out of these three outputs, you have to look at all three of them and then determine which one is the best or most closely reflects the intent of what you put in. So here we have this example, so it looks good, but it might not be as relevant as it changed the entire house. Here we have this example, which looks a little bit better. It seems a little bit more high quality. And then we have the last example, which has this. So it's up to you to choose which one is the best. In this case, I will share that I think this Model 3 is the best, so I'll confirm. And then here, this is where you can give feedback. So this is the most important part, to answer all three of these questions and then also answer these text prompts. So to answer this, I'll ask, how satisfied are you with the image quality? I'll say, I'm pretty satisfied. Does the image follow instructions? I would say yes, it followed instructions. And then how closely does the edited image match the original image? I would say, yeah, probably a 2 or 3 on this. It did change some of the key components, but so maybe I'll put a 2 here. And then how culturally relevant is the output? So I personally am not an expert on Japanese culture, but I would say it seems all right, so I'll put a 3. And then you can also hit this checkbox to answer if anything was offensive in the image. So in case it generated something stereotypical or something offensive, you can definitely write here. And we will be using all of this feedback to train the models to be better and generate better and more culturally sensitive images in the future. Additionally, it would be very helpful if you could share your thoughts here in details. So for example, you could share, I thought the image had a high quality, but it did change some key components of the house architecture. So we'll be reviewing all of this feedback to make the models better. And once you're done with this, you can simply hit submit feedback. So we'll have our feedback saved. And then now you can hit publish. So this will actually help us and help you get an idea. So we have all of these cultures here. So I'll select the input image as United States. So I'll scroll down. Um, Let me see if I can just search states. Okay, great. And then I'll say the target country was Japan. And then the application. So this is where you can select what kind of application this was for, like whether you translated this image for worksheets or for storybooks, advertisements, or graphics. In this case, I didn't really translate it for a particular purpose, but I'll say graphics. And then you can change this visibility to be public or private. So public will make the image shown in the gallery that I shared before, and private will be shared in a private page. So I'll say private. And I'll say Japanese house, and then hit publish. So this is a very important step because your data up until this point will not be saved if you don't hit publish. So in case you made, 15 steps or you made a lot of changes, it will not be saved unless you hit publish. Additionally, something else you can do is keep iterating on the space image. So let's say I wanted to add, for example, more plants, or I wanted to add more details on the house. I can do the same process again simply by typing in the prompt and hitting translate again, and you can see the history of all of the steps you have. So then for now, I'll just say this is good and I'll hit publish. And then it will tell me that I've uploaded this house as private. So you can see all of your private edits on my edits here. So these are a lot of testing images that I've done in the past. Here we can see the most recent image I have. And you can also press on view full history to see what steps and what hyperparameters that you used. So the prompt, the steps, and the base and target country. Additionally, you can take a look at our gallery to get an idea of what prompts other people have been using and what has been successful, what hasn't. So here we can see this is paneer, which we shared, changed from Latin American to Indian culture. So you can take a look at our gallery as well. All right, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope to see you using the platform soon.